was my very first journal. I don't even have this for sale anymore, but this was my very first journal that I ever created. I think I created this one on Lulu. Girl, if you're going through a growth process or a healing process and you want to start journaling, the most important thing you will want to do is to be honest with yourself. Because when you start journaling, the purpose of journaling is to get you through a process and for you to actually digest your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts. Start looking at things in your life that are current, things in life that you may want to change. And so in this video, I'm going to be walking through a few tips that I use when I'm journaling. But before we get started, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and clicking that thumbs up button for me so that I know that you love this type of content. If you're new here, I'm Latoya Nicole, and in 2018, God told me to publish a book. So I published my first book, which was a coloring book. And from there, it grew into a collection of books, including some of these journals. So journaling can be a great tool for self-growth and for personal development because it allows you to gain clarity, reflect on your thoughts, and even track your progress over time. Because you know how like when you write posts on Facebook, like a year later, they'll say, this is what you wrote on today. So journaling is similar where you can look back and say, oh my God, this is where I was on this date, and now I don't even feel like this anymore. Or now I have achieved this goal that I wrote that I wanted to do in my journal. So it gives you a chance to just look back and reflect. So this is why I love journaling. And the very first journal that I ever created was this journal, which is called the Boss's Journal. I don't even sell this journal anymore. It was just simply a line journal. So with a line journal, you can just free flow and write whatever comes to your mind. So that's what I did when I was using this journal. I put ideas that I planned out for myself. I put resources. I mean, anything that I could think of, I was putting in this journal. So that's one of the things that you can do when you're journaling is free flowing. Sometimes that's easier for people because you could just write your thoughts and feelings. So the first tip when journaling is going to be consistency. Consistency is going to be key. So this is where you can set aside time in the morning or in the evening to just write out your thoughts, write in your journal. If you decide to get a gratitude journal, you can say what you're grateful for. One thing that I actually love doing at the end of the day, I like to think about one good thing that happened that day because I like to reflect on great things that happen because so many things happen throughout the day that are not so good that might stress you out throughout the day. So I like to end on a note where I'm always thinking about something good that happened during that day. Tip number 2, you want to make sure you're being open and honest with yourself. Honesty is going to be key in your journaling process because this is what's going to give you the clarity and the stability that you need when you are authentically trying to grow. So this is a place where it's a safe space for you. There's not going to be any judgment, not unless you judge yourself, sis. But it's a safe space, no judgment, and you can flow freely on the pages as you're writing. Tip number 3, you can use your journal for self-reflection. So if you watched my last video that I'll link, you'll see that I recently created this workbook that I use as a journal. It asks you meaningful questions, such as, think about a difficult time or challenge in your life that was hard for you to cope with. How did you handle the situation at that time? And you see how it gives you the prompts and then space to freely write. And then how did you cope? How did you overcome the situation? And also ask things like, what are your strengths? So it gives you the opportunity to list your top 5 strengths. And then you can reflect on your skills and your talents and your qualities and consider how you use these strengths in your life, such as in your relationships, your business, or personally. Also, what are your spiritual gifts? Because your spiritual gifts are important on your growth process as well because God gives us the gifts not just to use in someone else's life, but your gifts should actually first work on you. So this is why you want to start identifying those things. And if you don't know what those things are, then you can just ask God for the wisdom so that you'll know what those spiritual gifts are. And then once you know these things, like I said, start applying them to your everyday life. Start using them in your life. Tip number 4 is actually writing down your goals. So you can write down goals for your healing journey. What do you want to achieve? How do you want to feel? It could be anything from building better relationships to working on a new skill or working on self-confidence. Let's say you don't have confidence in a specific area and you know that you're afraid to do this specific thing. Let me tell you something. Anything that you are really, really fearful of, or you don't have confidence in that area, that's most likely the thing that you should absolutely be doing. So you want to examine that and see, what are you fearful about? What are the things you don't want to do? Because those are the things that you're going to want to start focusing on and doing. Because when you start doing them and facing those fears, that is the way that you're going to press past those fears. One of the things that I was really, really afraid of was not pleasing people. Now, not just not pleasing people altogether, but not pleasing people that I thought loved me, because I thought that if I did not do what those people wanted me to do, then I thought that their love would shift on me. So one thing that I had to start learning was, when you are discovering your authentic self, you are going to leave a lot of those fears behind, because you're going to know if the person loves me, they're going to love me regardless of what I do. So I'm going to do what I believe my values and my beliefs are, and that's what I'm going to start walking into. And that is what I'm going to start facing, because you want to understand that it's okay to grow. It's okay to not always stay the same and not do things the way your parents would have wanted you to do them, for example. And remember that being your authentic self is really about embracing your uniqueness and being genuine in your beliefs. As you start journaling and uncovering your authentic self, you'll gain a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment in your life. And that's overall what you want. You want to be real with yourself. So let me know in the comments what type of journal you're going to get started with. And like I said, make sure you go ahead and like this video. Now, if you decide that you can't find a journal that you like, or you want to start creating your own journal to journal in, then watch this video next. Until next time, bye-bye.